Hi everyone, welcome to Our Friends in Addison, where we talk to the different residents, businesses, and organizations that are all part of our community. Today, the library's business services specialist, Leslie, spoke with Jeff Pluta, the Battalion Chief at the Addison Fire Protection District. We learned a lot about the day-to-day life of being a firefighter, what the department is doing differently due to the COVID-19 outbreak, and what Jeff likes to do when he's not on duty. So, stay tuned and get to know Our Friends in Addison.
All right. So our first question, can you tell us a little bit about the Addison Fire Protection District? What does it look like today? What's the history behind it?
We are in place to provide fire protection and emergency services and other rescue services to the village of Addison and the surrounding unincorporated areas. We cover roughly 39,000 residents. We service Addison from 3 fire stations. The main fire station, which you'll hear referred to as either Station 1 or Station 71. With the way our dispatch is done, they've changed our numbers around. So all of our vehicles are 71, 72, and 73 series. So Station 71 is our main station on Addison Road. That's where our administrative offices are. And then we also from there have a battalion chief, which is what I am, and a fire truck and at least one ambulance out of that station. The history, we actually started in 1925. The Addison Volunteer Fire Department was founded. It continued as a volunteer fire department, and then the village began to have a fire department. And in 1946, those 2 fire departments combined together as the Addison Fire Protection District. I know one of the things that are often asked is, okay, you keep saying fire protection district, fire department. What is the difference? So one thing we really want people to understand is that there is a difference. Now, there's not a difference as far as when you call 911, a fire truck shows up, an ambulance shows up, whatever we need to do. Really, it's how we're organized and who's in charge of us. So a fire department, just like a police department or a public works department, is a department of a village or a city. As a fire district, just like a library district or a park district or a school district, we are our own entity. We're our own taxing body. So if you were to check your tax bill, you'll see different line items, and you'll see one specifically for the Addison Fire Protection District. Again, that's how we get our money. So the key here is that we are not in any way part of the village of Addison. We have our own government functions. We have elected trustees. We currently have three trustees. They hold meetings, and then they decide how our money is going to be spent.
That's great and very helpful. That was my next question, because that was one of the first things I learned. I kept calling the fire department. I was like, that's wrong. It's a fire protection district. So now everybody knows. Can you tell us a little about what you do? What does it mean to be a battalion chief? What does that look like for you every day when you come into work?
Sure. So kind of between our administrative chiefs and the rank and file, they have a battalion chief. Personally, I'm in charge of writing our grants. I'm also in charge of public education and public relations. So that I can spend, part of my day going over scheduling classes. We have guys that do CPR. We have a lot of technical rescue teams too. Battalion chief is also a tested position. And really what my job is again, I'm kind of that bridge between the chiefs and the firefighters. I am responsible not just for one vehicle or one station. I'm responsible for the entire shift that day. The battalion chief is a shift person. So though, if you didn't know, the way the Addison firefighters work is we work for a 24-hour shift, and then we're off for 2 days. So we have 3 distinct shifts. So today is one shift. That group of firefighters will be off until Sunday. Tomorrow's another group. They'll work their 24 hours and then they'll have their 48 hours off. And then there's a third group. So as a battalion chief, I am in charge of that entire shift, all 3 stations, all calls that are being run. If there is a bigger call like a fire or a big traffic accident, I'm the one who takes command of that scene, decides what resources we need. I assign, this fire engine, go take care of this fire truck, go take care of this, and if I need more help, I'm the one that calls for help. So I'm what would be known as the incident commander.
That's great. Thank you. So what does like an average 24 hours at work look like for you? I'm sure maybe there's no average day, but what is typically a day like?
We have typical days, but you're right. And that's actually one of the things I really love about my job is no 2 days are really the same. The battalion chief's day starts at 7 o'clock in the morning. We start 1 hour before the rest of the firefighters. That gives me an hour to kind of plan the day out. At 8 o'clock, the firefighters and lieutenants, they start their day. We usually start with a meeting, very similar to what you're seeing here. From there, first thing we always make sure we do is we check out our vehicles, making sure mechanically they're ready to go, the equipment's there, equipment's in good order. Every day, we have some type of drill. Just like anything else, it's not like we have fires every day. So we need to constantly practice so that when we have a fire or a medical emergency or whatever it is, that we are as sharp as we can be. We really try to keep ourselves busy. And then there's also the basic house duties. We don't have cleaning services and stuff like that. So somebody's job is to clean the bathroom, to clean the bedroom, to clean the kitchen, wipe floors, check fans, all the stuff that you have to do around your house, because our fire stations are really our houses for that 24 hours. In general, we work up until about 5 o'clock. And then, again, we'll usually have dinner together. And then the rest of the day is kind of to you. A lot of guys will study, or maybe they'll watch some TV. We do sleep at the fire station. Again, we're there for 24 hours, so they do provide us beds. I mentioned yet that overrules everything we've talked about is then calls. One thing to understand, it does not matter what we're doing, we're going to go on a call. So if we're in the middle of training, we stop training, we go on a 911 call. Addison averages about 5,000. We're up to about 5,200 calls a year. So if you do the math divided by 365, we run a lot of calls. So we are busy throughout the day. It's not uncommon for us to be putting the dinner out on the table, and the call comes in and you drop your fork and you go. So for those 24 hours, we are in service and ready to go. Some people complain that we're paid to sleep. Sometimes, but there's also a lot of times at night we get calls. Calls happen all the time throughout the day, and it's more uncommon to sleep through the night than it is to get up in the middle of the night. So we try to keep ourselves active. We do a lot of work outside of just the 911 response. But again, everything we're doing is really preparing for when someone dials 911, asks for our help, that we're ready to give them help.
That's fantastic. It's so nice to hear all that about what you do, because there's so many misnomers with any career. I mean, people think we shelve books and read books all day, but that's not quite how it works at the library. So
it'd be nice though.
I mean, that would be a job, but that's definitely not. So what's your favorite part about your job?
Oh, realistically, I like to help people. I know it sounds a little cliche, but really, if you're going to do this job, yes, there's some great benefits and it's fun and all that, but you have to want to help people, because that's really what you're doing. We very often on a daily basis get to go and make a difference in somebody's life. I'm not going to say that every day we're, again, saving babies from burning buildings or doing it, but even on, we have to look at it as, when we're going to go see people, we're seeing them on what for them is their worst day. It may not be the biggest emergency that we've ever seen, but to them, this was a big deal. And to know that we get to help people, that make a bad situation as good as we can, and on occasion, maybe get to save a life. is fantastic. It's a great feeling. I can look back over my career and think of a lot of cases where I truly believe I got to really make a difference in somebody's life, and it's wonderful.
So how did you decide to become a firefighter? When did you decide that this is what you wanted to do with your career?
My father was a firefighter. Actually, you'll find a lot of guys that are in this field have some family connection. I did not want to be a firefighter growing up. I loved what he did. I thought it was great. I actually had aspirations to be a doctor. I actually went to college pre-med, and getting to a point where it was time to apply for medical school. I said, I'm so done with school now. I just couldn't do it anymore. So I had started to work on ambulances part-time just to kind of prep myself to go to medical school, and I found I really liked it. I also did some ride time with my dad's fire department and realized this is awesome. I really get, you really get to help people right here. And I decided then, so it was actually pretty much at the end of my college career that I was actually going to want to get into the firefighting business. So I graduated college, went to paramedic school, and got lucky and tested and got hired by Addison.
What are the services and programs that the Addison Fire Protection District offers that most of our community isn't aware of?
All right, so the services we provide, again, we've mentioned some. Obviously, the big ones are fighting fires and then emergency medical services. We run 3 to 4 ambulances a day just out of our fire stations for providing paramedics to the Fire Protection District. Again, we also have the specialty teams. So those are our hazardous materials team. We provide technical rescue, which is again like high angle, trench, building collapse, stuff like that. We do have a dive team. I know we don't have a big lake in town, but we do have a river, a lot of retention ponds and stuff like that. And then we also are prone to flooding from time to time. So we do have members that are part of a dive rescue team. And then we also have public education and public relations. Again, we teach at the schools. We teach at the Park District. We work with seniors. We work with preschool kids, at-risk kids. Basically, anybody that's willing to hear us talk, we're willing to get out there and try to get a class together on pretty much any topic you want. We also have a CPR division. If you are in need of a CPR class, you can check our website. And if we don't have a class for you, we can help you find a class. We also provide classes for a lot of businesses and groups within town. You can you can run a class. We'll run it for you. There is a fee for that. Most of our stuff, like with public education, there is no fee. CPR, we have to charge us fee just because we get charged a fee by the American Heart Association, so we have to offset those costs. We also have a Fire Prevention Bureau. Anytime anything is built in Addison, they are part of the process to make sure that buildings and occupancies that go into town are fire safe and ready and protected the way they should be. And then they also do inspections and make sure that they keep up on any fire code violations, because it's hard to put out a fire, but if you can stop the fire from happening, then everybody's better off. So we have a pretty robust system of fire inspectors that try to minimize the amount of fires that we have.
That's a wonderful service, and I bet half of our viewers probably didn't know it existed, so I'm glad you were able to share that. So I think you kind of mentioned to it, we're having this interview all in our different homes for a reason, because we're in the can you talk a little bit about the changes you've had to make when responding to calls due to the COVID-19 pandemic?
Absolutely. There's a lot that we've had to change. We've always been kind of prepared. We always have masks and the suits and gloves. We now go into every house assuming that somebody there has COVID-19 or we're the ones with COVID-19. So every time we go into any house, we're going to have contact with somebody. We're going to have, at the minimum, we're going to have our gloves on. We're going to have our goggles on. We're going to have a N95 mask on. This is to protect us, but also to protect you. We are going into multiple houses. We are taking multiple patients every day that are testing positive for COVID-19. So we need to be careful. We don't spread it as well. So with that being said, we're taking a lot of precautions. Most of them are precautions that are probably overdone for most cases, but since there's no way of knowing, that's what we're going to do. So rest assured, we're taking every step we can to make sure we're protecting ourselves and we're protecting you. Every time we go to the hospital, we are spending as little time as possible at the hospital. The entire back of the ambulance gets completely decontaminated. We have solutions that are proven to take care of coronavirus. Every surface is wiped down. We were wearing our gloves, we were wearing our masks. Everything gets wiped down, cleaned. If there was any chance of the person having had COVID, they were showing any of the signs, we also put like a full bodysuit on, and then we will also change our clothes. So we're doing everything we can to make sure you can rest assured that if you call us, we're not going to be bringing COVID into your house.
If you've given us a lot of really good advice, but if there's one thing we talk about today that you want people to remember or know, what would you like that to be?
I think the main thing, kind of tailing off of, hey, if you need us, call for us. If you need to go to the hospital, go to the hospital. If your kids are due for their vaccinations or their well child, call your doctor and go. Routine medical stuff still has to stay. The other thing is be honest with us and be honest with our call takers. We've had people not tell us that they have a fever or they have a cough because they're afraid. I don't know, maybe they're afraid that we won't come or whatever. We're going to come. But if you can tell us ahead of time, then we can take more steps to protect us and to protect everybody else. So they're going to ask you a bunch of questions. Have you come in contact with somebody who has tested positive for COVID-19? Have you tested positive? Do you have a fever? Do you have a cough? Do you have any of these symptoms? Answer honestly, please. That means that we can prepare ourselves and we can go ahead and go in. Again, the guys will come in then, yes, they'll be wearing that white Tyvek suit. It better protects us. It better protects you. It better protects everybody around us. But be honest, answer their questions. And when we ask you questions, just answer. We just need to know the information so that we can best service you.
That's great. Is there anything that Addison community members should be doing to keep themselves and their community members safe during this COVID-19 crisis?
Really, it's just follow the best information that's out there. There's a ton of information out there, and make sure you're getting your information from credible sources. If you're looking for good quality information, go to places like the CDC, the Illinois Department of Public Health, DuPage County Health Department. Those are going to be the reputable sources that are going to have the best science that's there now. Social distancing whenever you can, limiting your trips. Again, get outside. Absolutely, get out, go to a park, walk outside, get some fresh air. It's great for your body. It's great for your health. It's great for your mind, but don't congregate.
Great, thank you. So we're going to pivot a little bit and go a little more fun here.
Okay.
So we want to know a little bit about you. What are some of everything is open, what are some of your favorite places in Addison?
I've always enjoyed going to the Village Green. I have been going, I've been with Addison for 25 years. I love going to the Rock and Wheels. I'm really going to miss it. I understand the really tough decision that Mayor Veenstra and the rest of the Village of Addison had to make. I loved going to the Village Green, watching, the bands, trying out all the different food vendors. I can remember before really had Rock and Wheels, they would have the concerts in the park at the gazebo. That's always just been a place that will forever in my mind represent my time with Addison.
That's wonderful. So we wouldn't be the library if we didn't ask you what's your favorite book and movie and band. So
Book. Very early on in my reading career, I fell in love with the Fellowship of the Ring, Lord of the Rings series, and that's always been my favorite. One of my happiest times as a father for each of my kids is when I got to start reading them the book The Hobbit. I loved it so much as a kid, and then to have each of my kids, I got to sit down, crack open that book, and open that first line about a hobbit in a hole, and it just meant so much to me to be able to share my love of reading with them.
what do you like to do when you're not off being a firefighter? Like, what do you like to do in your free time?
I spend a lot of time with my family. I have lovely wife, and I have four kids, 13, 11. My middle son just turned 10 today. It's his birthday. That's why I'm at home. And then my youngest is 5. So I spend a lot of time with them. Love spending time with them. And then when we can get a babysitter, again, once all this kind of settles down, my wife and I really enjoy going out dancing. We actually met swing dancing. So we'll go out. We have groups of friends that we still get together with, and we go to different places throughout the Chicagoland area and listen to bands and dance. It's great.
That's wonderful. So if you could switch careers and do anything you wanted and not have to worry about money, training, what is it that you would want to do?
Well, that's a tough one because I really do love what I'm doing. It's actually a question I'm going to have to come up with an answer with sooner than later. I'm actually getting ready to retire.
Congratulations.
So this summer I will be retiring from the Addison Fire Protection District with 25 years, and my family and I are moving to Colorado.
Wow.
And the big question everybody asks us is, what are you going to do out in Colorado? And my answer is, I don't know yet. I've been doing this for so long. I haven't fully decided yet. I know I still want to do something that I could help people, I think, but maybe a little less intense. So we're going to move out there. We're going to get the house set up, and then I'm going to look for a job. So I'm hoping I can find something where, I can still continue to help people.
How exciting. Where in Colorado are you moving to?
We're looking at the Fort Collins area, so north of Denver, but still along the eastern edge of the Rocky Mountains.
Beautiful. All right. One last question, and then we'll let you enjoy your day off.
Right.
Is there anything else you want to say or share with the community of Addison?
On a personal note, I would really like to thank the entire community of Addison. Again, I've spent 25 years now working for you and with you, and it's an incredible place to live. It's an incredible place to spend time. There are a load of wonderful people I've met through other government agencies, through community groups. It is a great community, and I just want you all to know that you're doing a great job. I know we have a high number of COVID cases within Addison. A lot of it has to do with just the nature of the way our town is, and the people who live there and where they are. Again, one of the things I think that came out of this pandemic is recognizing what an essential worker really is, and the people who work in factories that can't shut down because we need that food or we need those supplies are putting themselves at risk. And we have a lot of those people who live in our town. So just stay proud of the town you live in. Look out for each other, and continue to enjoy the village that, again, I've been incredibly honored to be a part of for 25 years now.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And I think I can speak on behalf of all of us to thank you and the entire Fire Protection District for all that you're doing for our community, especially during this difficult time, let alone every day.
Great. And thank you very much for allowing me a chance to talk to everybody today.
That was wonderful. Thank you. Anything I missed, Ben? Any other questions you have?
And yeah, I love The Hobbit too. I just want to say that was one of my favorite books growing up, and yeah, and that trilogy of those movies, it's a special place in my heart too. So that's really cool hearing that you get to share that with your own kids. That's something I
Yeah,
hope
it
I get to
is.
do one day too.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Jeff, have a good day today. I hope that
Thank
your
Thank
son
you.
can have a good birthday, even with everything going on. I know it's been birthdays and holidays and stuff have
Yeah.
been really weird right now. So make the most of it. And
Thank you very much.
yeah.
Thank
All right.
you.
Take care, Jeff. Nice to talk with you.
Nice meeting you, Ben. Bye, Leslie.
Bye.
Bye.